Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. And as some of you probably know, I'm on vacation right now, but I still wanted to bring you guys a good video here. I'm going to show you how to get actually good at Call of Duty. So, my skill in Call of Duty has transferred over from when I go play Overwatch or anything, play any first-person shooter, everything has helped. First tip, don't be like this guy right here.
Yo, who the fuck is asking you, though?
Listen.
Who the
You wanna
fuck
bet who has
is
more
asking
kills?
you?
Shut the fuck up.
Lot what, nigga? Shut up.
Nobody's asking about the PPS.
Nobody's asking you, bitch. Shut up. I'm not talking to you.
I hope
That's
he's on the
hilarious.
other team.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
want a free nuke.
Bro? Where you looking at?
I really hope I get a free nuke on against these kids this
alright.
map.
It's my brother and I who are both competitive players, and there's a couple of things I want to explain before I really get into how to be good. There's a difference between a really good competitive player and a really good pub stomper. If you want to be a really good pub stomper, that's a lot different than being a competitive player. So a competitive player will be able to hop into any public match lobby and do really well. A pub stomper can't carry that over to competitive and do well without a lot of practice at first and following the rules. So that brings me right into rule number 1 on how to be really good at Call of Duty. Number 1, follow the rules in GAs. So this may make no sense to some people who don't understand. There are certain GAs and rules in competitive that you cannot do. So using certain guns are gone, attachments are gone, perks are gone. What you don't want to do is get really good using a DMR or using an M16 and an AUG and be like, oh yeah, this is my gun, I got a diamond. You want to either use a sub or an AR that's not a DLC gun, and you want to use one that is not overpowered. So if you're running around using a KSP getting kills, it's overpowered. The AUG, the M16, like I said, the LC10, all of these guns are overpowered as can be, and you don't want to be getting good using those. So what you want to do is look up a pro class, so an AK-74U or a Krig 6, and you want to get good using one of those in Cold War. But another thing that you can do is work specifically on your movement. So the movement is what sets great players from good players. If you're going to be sitting still, getting mounted kills and doing all this and that, that's not going to help you in the long run. That's not going to help you be good going into the next game, because the more you can work on hitting your shots with your movement with not an overpowered gun, the better you're going to be off. So step number 2, movement. You want to work on your movement as much as possible. So, and I don't mean you think you're good because you can slide. Before you go into a doorway, slide or jump shot. You want to slide and jump shot and do anything extra that you can. Before, you don't want to crouch walk around or do anything like that. One big thing to avoid, laying down, getting kills. So when you want to get really good, you want to be that person that's untouchable in the lobby. And the way that I worked into getting to where I am, because I've only been playing competitive Call of Duty for about 3 years now, and I used to be a crouch, sit here like this, pre-aim. I'm full speed, aggressive, sprint, jump in your face, slide, everything. Learn how to hit shots, avoid getting shot, and all the above, that fits. And basically the difference for me where I can hop from World War II to Black Ops 4 to Modern Warfare to Cold War and still be really good at the game is my movement. So hitting shots and all that is great, but as much as you guys probably don't want to hear this, the last 2 Call of Duties have been easier than the last 4 combined. And the simple reason for that is because they want to reward people to get kills by giving them guns with no recoil that kill really fast. So, and I'm sorry, the snipers, as much as you guys love sniping, overpowered in Cold War. I let that sink in for a second because a lot of you are probably going to get mad. Also, marksman rifles in Modern Warfare aren't snipers. Kar 98, not a sniper. Mark II carbine, not a sniper. Cold War snipers overpowered because one, the biggest counter to a sniper is you should be able to shoot them and their gun flinches. There's no flinch in Cold War with the right attachment. That way, if you watch a competitive match, you're not going to see a single sniper because they're overpowered. If you want to actually get really good and realize what separates these pros from just the average guys with high KDs, watch what they use. They're all going to be using the same AK-74U class, and they're all going to be using the same Krig class, and you're not going to see a single sniper on the map because of how easy and overpowered they are. Plus, you get aim assist once you aim in at all with the sniper now. And the Kar 98K and marksman rifles on Modern Warfare started that. There were snipers last year in competitive for Modern Warfare, but you could not use a Mark II carbine or a Kar. You had to use the HDR. And now we're ready for step 3. So, we got you want to get really good at movement, and we got that you don't want to use overpowered guns. Step 3. Something that's very simple to me and easy to see is understanding spawns. So, it took a lot of time, but minimap and spawns are the key component to getting a lot of free kills on the map, which boost your KD and which make you look really good because you are. So, understanding where you run at on the map can influence where a team spawns. So, if the second hardpoint hill you know is on the other side of the map, and there's 20 seconds left, and you decide you want to rotate, go to the very back, you can influence spawns and your team spawns there. Also, understanding lanes. So if you watch your mini-map, you can see the arrows of all your teammates. You know, everybody's looking this way. I'm going to use Garrison for an example. So if you're sitting tank P2 on Garrison, you know, and there's going to be 3 people sitting there watching top green, you're going to see them all right there, all the arrows right there. But you see that there's nobody in brick cutout. Nobody's watching it. If you slide there and pick it up, you're more likely to get that kill for the simple fact, 1, there's probably going to be somebody hitting there. 2, there could be multiple. And 3, if 3 people are shooting at the same person, you're most likely not going to get that kill. And also understanding the only routes that they can go to hit a hill, or just like in Control, hit a control point. If you want to hold a pre-aim, which, by the way, another huge no-no. Do not do this. Do not bank on hip fire. Do not. If you're using hip fire a lot, get out of that habit. Because that's not skill-based, that's all connection-based. If you're going to hip fire, I could hip fire you, and you could hip fire me, and we're the same distance apart, and some of my bullets might connect more than yours. That's a bad habit to get into. Do not rely on hip fire. That's the worst thing to absolutely do. Hold a pre-aim, watch your angles, and let them come in. If you're going to be holding versus breaking, that's another one. If we want to talk about hardpoint, holding versus breaking. If you're holding a hill, you don't want to go out and, you know, roam and explore, and then you break the spawns for your team. They're going to spawn behind the hill and they get the new hill. What you're going to want to do is hold a pre-aim of a lane that they could come in to break the hill. So, if, you know, we're still talking about, you know, say we're on Moscow. P2 on Moscow. P2 is the big ones I'm talking about. So, you got to think, if somebody's going to be in the hill, if your team has the hill, you're going to want to watch green, you're going to watch middle, and you're going to want to watch apartments. And then you're going to watch street. It's 4 different places that they can come. They can't come behind you if your team's spawning there. They can't do this. They might flood more than one way than the other. But when you versus breaking, the best thing you can do is stick together with your team and all hit one thing at once. So if you're pushed all the way up the map and the rest of your team dies, the worst thing you could do is fly out and die, because even if you get 1 kill, it's not going to matter. There's going to be 4 or 5 people there. You're still going to spawn out with your team. Instead of waiting for them to run all the way up, then you guys all hit at one time. So that's step 3. You want to pay attention to spawns because you can influence them and know where they're coming, and the minimap. The minimap is very important. Step 4. Knowing common spots. So, if you're going to play into use Garrison again. Say you load into Garrison, map 1, you know, hill 1. You slide into the hill. You should be watching that corner to the right under green, credit corner, because there's usually somebody there every time. If you slide that and pre-aim it, you're at a better advantage than if you just slide and either rarely look or anything. They can shoot you in the back, do all this and that. You're going to want to know common spots, and then what you're going to want to do is avoid using common spots. So you're going to want to use an off angle or somewhere that somebody doesn't usually go to get an angle at the hill. So That's why Dolly got so impactful on Garrison, because people, instead of sliding to the credit corner, they would just sit on Dolly and get the same angle, and you could watch more. But what you want to do when it comes to knowing these common spots is the easiest way to do it is to play the game a lot. So the more you play, the better you'll get, no matter what. So it's kind of easy to just say, I mean, that's really layman's terms, but the more you play, the better you'll get, the more you'll know. Unless you're playing a lot and not doing the right stuff to get better. Because I'm very confident in my own skill that I've used years to get up to. I'm not the best at competitive, but I'm definitely not the worst. But I know that I can hop into a public match right now on Cold War, Modern Warfare, Black Ops 4, World War II, all these games, and just be fine, because it's the same mechanics that help you get good at Call of Duty. It's unlike any other game. You get a new game every year, but everything's the exact same. It's almost like playing a 2K or something, but it's just a shooter game. And it doesn't matter if it's old Call of Duty or new Call of Duty. I went back and played Black Ops 3, and I'm a lot better now than when I was playing Black Ops 3. Just because it's it's so easy to keep on doing the same fundamental things over and over again. You're playing the same game modes. 4. That's in step 4. Knowing the common spots and all that. Play the right game modes. If you're going to get better, use league play. And don't be that guy in league play that's, oh, well, these guys are going to use an XM4 LC10, so I'm going to pull one out. Don't be that guy. All you're doing is making it worse, because they'll never take it out of the game if the majority of people use it. So all you're doing is just putting fuel into the issue, and that's not what we want to do when we want to make a level playing field, because these last 2 Call of Duties have been the most smallest skill gap of all time. And one of the reasons for that is because they don't care about it that much anymore. They only care about Warzone. Warzone's free to play, has a lot more players, but the skill gap in multiplayer COD to try to get people to play it is a lot smaller than this. Generally, the COD games that the public community hate are ones that the comp community love. I love Black Ops 4. A lot of people don't like it. I think that's one of the most skill-based Call of Duties ever. And I think that it's not even close, because you have to hit good movement, hit more shots, the time to kill is longer, which I like, because if you have a fast time to kill, you can hit a random stray bullet and kill somebody. That doesn't take skill. That doesn't take skill at all. The movement, I think, is so clean in that game, but that doesn't stop me from being good at Modern Warfare, which is my least favorite COD of all time, because I think it's the easiest one. Modern Warfare is easier than Cold War, just for the simple facts of how easy it is to kill somebody and how much the maps reward playing slow. But if anybody wants to see a gameplay or anything, I could do some streams and try to get a nuke, whatever, or do anything like this on Cold War or anything, which I could work on, and that's going to help me. And when you watch, you'll notice that I watch a lot of common spots. Step 5. We talked movement, we talked common spots, we talked spawns, and we talked not using overpowered guns. What we're going to do now for step 5 is, what you're going to want to get good at is simply this: your shot. And everybody has a good shot right now because it's so easy. But what I want you to do is use a gun with a lot of recoil and not attachments to make it super straight, and start practicing with that. I used the PPSH in World War II a lot when I was starting to really get into it, and then the Maddox in Black Ops 4. And I mean, they're not the hardest guns to use, but they're not the easiest. If you load it into, a game and you use a KSP, one bursting people across the map, this is supposed to be a 150 health game, and it's not, because people kill you so fast. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just one burst and you're dead. You just don't stand a chance. And the way to get around that is to get good with every gun that's going to be in the meta. You know when a game's off launch if there's one that's really good, overpowered gun. Don't be that kid that uses the overpowered gun. In the beginning of the year, it was still the same guns that we have now. Don't get good using those guns. That doesn't make you good at the game. Use your movement, use your sliding and your jumping, jump shots, pre-aiming. Pre-aiming is big. Every time you come around a corner, pre-aim it. If there's somebody there or not, jump and pre-aim. Slide and pre-aim. Do it. because there's more than likely going to be somebody there if you're going to look into a common spot. So another thing, if you watch a competitive player shoot, or a pro player, it's a lot different than when you watch an average, pub player. They shoot straight with a sub all the way across the map, where they can use a Krig and AR up close like it's a submachine gun. And that is because they have that acquired skill that they worked on to where they can shoot straight at that far, that distance. But if you're going to shoot that straight with an LC-10, their gun has no recoil. That doesn't make you good. I don't want to see a clip of somebody trying to show off using something overpowered. If you show me something overpowered, I'm just going to discredit it. Sorry, that might sound like an a-hole move, but it's true. I want to see actual skill-based clips and do all this. But, it's not me hating or anything. It's not like that. So, there's how you become a really good Call of Duty player. If anybody has any questions, all you have to do is ask me. I'll love to play with you or show you. I mean, I'm not acting like I'm all high and mighty, the best player ever, but I can tell the difference between a good player and a bad player and what's making them good and what's making them not. So, if anybody has any questions, please let me know down below. It's good to be back on the content grind. I appreciate all of you for watching and listening.